what did you have for breakfast this morning?
Today I had coffee with milk. That's it.
No food?
No food. Yeah.
Been there?
Yeah.
One of those mornings. WTHS 89.9, the commercial-free voice of Hope College, presents Fireside Chats with President Scogin and General Manager Jack Deubner. All right, well, I guess we can start off. So, everyone, hello. Thank you for tuning in to WTHS 89.9, the commercial-free voice of Hope College. And you're tuning into a very special thing we're doing. My name is Jack Deubner, and I'm here with President Scogin. Hello.
Hey, Jack. Great to be with you. Thanks for doing this. This is fun.
Thanks for coming on. So I have a tentative title of this show.
Okay, great.
It's going to be a monthly show, and would you like for it to be called Fireside Chats? A little FDR reference for you.
Yeah, I was going to say it sounds like you made that up. No, that sounds great. Let's call it Fireside Chats.
Cool, great. So the point of this...
We need a fire in here.
Oh,
actually,
maybe.
No, don't think that. Let's not do that.
Maybe not. I think I might get in trouble for that one. So the point of this show is kind of be a more relaxed version of all like the media stuff you already do, because you are kind of everywhere, if I do say so myself.
Well, we're trying to be transparent, and I'm trying to be. It's a pretty unprecedented time, and so I'm trying to be as present and visible as possible to help lead us all through this. Yeah. So I guess like
my first point I have here in my mighty list of things. So it is. What's it like, kind of being a like pseudo celebrity in like a 5-mile radius? You know what I mean?
That's well described. Exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's like Malcolm Gladwell writes about being a big fish in a small pond versus a small fish in a big pond, and this is exactly the former. It's a big fish in a small pond. We go out. My family and I. We have 3 young kids. We go out to dinner on 8th Street. And it becomes a bit of an event.
Really?
We'll have people around us saying, "Hey, I've got an idea for Hope. Have you thought about this? Have you done this?" Our kids are, I would say, pretty patient with it up to a certain point. At some point, it becomes like, "Dad, when can we just go
hang out with me?"
That's right. The nice thing about it, to be honest, is if we go one town north or south. So if we go to Saugatuck or Grand Haven. Or South Haven or something like that, nobody knows or cares who we are. And so, as you described, within the town of Holland, people care and people are excited to engage with us, and that's great, and we're excited to do that. But when we need some time just to be a Scogin family, we can drive 10 or 15 minutes, and nobody knows or cares who we are.
Is there like a change you make in your head to whenever you like say you drive out to Saugatuck? Do you go, okay, I don't have to like put on like maybe like a presidential face? You know what I mean?
I think I dress a little differently. I certainly don't wear a tie. I think there is a bit of a mindset. Like I know when I'm in Holland, I always have to be on a little bit. I have to be ready for any question or any criticism or anything like that. Anywhere I am, I can and make a quick run to Meijer and think I'm just going to go in and get something and run out. And I may see somebody who is upset that we're not playing sports this semester, for example.
Oh, gosh.
So I think anywhere I go in Holland, I have to be on. And that's just part of the job. It's okay. It's what I signed up for.
Yeah.
And it's great to have, honestly, it's amazing to have a community that cares so much about this college and us being successful. But the good news is if I go to Saugatuck, I don't have to be on in the same way.
Yeah. And I'm sure also you just living on campus makes all the difference with that, because you just walk out your front door and there are students there.
That's right. But honestly, that's one of my favorite parts about the job, that we're constantly surrounded by students and the energy and the vibe that students bring. I love that. We lived in New York City for 11 years, so we're used to being around stuff, activity, energy. And I think, honestly, our kids, when the campus shut down in March, our kids, as I said, they were born and raised in Manhattan.
Yeah.
They had never been around an environment that was so quiet as Hope College was in March. And our kids, everybody left, and we were literally like the only people. I think there were 56 international students still on campus. And our kids were like, "Dad, like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Where is everybody?" It kind of freaked them out.
That's a culture shock.
That's right.
But I think like coming as like a student, I really do appreciate just kind of like going to the Pine Grove and then seeing your kids just zooming around the Pine Grove all the time. So it is like nice to get like, it builds community. So good job.
I'm glad it doesn't annoy you. We love it. Our kids love it.
Yeah.
Our son Oliver probably does 40 laps a day on his electric scooter around the Pine Grove, and He loves it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I saw him going around the scooter, and he like took off past me, and I was like, "Is he like going 4,000 miles an hour, or is that electric?" And I'm glad I got the confirmation.
It's electric.
That must be so much fun.
It's so great.
Okay, so kind of going off what you're talking about, just entering this job, like what you signed up for, you really entered this job at just, I don't want to say awful, but odd time. What's that like entering in? Because what month did you come into the job?
So I started in July last summer.
Yeah.
And I basically had a semester that was semi-normal, although the job was brand new. And everywhere I was going, I was meeting people, and there were meet and greets every night and every day, all day. So there was no sense of routine a year ago, last fall. And then I start to settle into a rhythm, January, February, and then all of a sudden in March, the world turns upside down.
Yeah. I would say, like, really honestly, it's one of the biggest challenges, the whole COVID thing, if you don't know what we're talking about, is like one of the biggest challenges, I would say, to like college students and just like colleges as a whole. So what was that like, tackling that as like one of your first like big challenges as a college president?
I think the good news and the bad news is that there's no playbook for how a college deals with COVID. That's good news because I'm a new president, and so it's not like everybody's going to say, "Oh, well, you should know what to do in this situation." No, nobody knows what to do in this situation.
Correct.
So the fact that there's no playbook, in some ways, it was kind of freeing, and it allowed me to kind of say, "Okay, we've never been through this before. No one has ever been through this before."
Correct.
Higher education is basically a 400-year-old project in this country. It started in 1636 when Harvard was founded. Over the course of 400 years, nothing like this has ever happened.
Yeah.
And so we're writing the playbook as we go, and that's both scary, daunting, weighty, all of that. But it's also kind of exciting because we're going through this thinking, nobody's ever done this before. And I would find myself waking up in the morning thinking, this is crazy. I've never done this before. And then I realized that's because nobody's ever done this before.
Yeah.
And there's something, exciting is not the right word because it's challenging in a way you can't fully describe. And I know there's so many people who are impacted by it in different ways. But it is, and I believe any time there's disruption, there's inherently opportunities. And I think for Hope, this was an opportunity to kind of show what we're made of. We're a place that has a hopeful mindset.
Yeah.
When the world starts to freak out, we show up with hope. That doesn't mean we're oblivious to challenges.
Yeah.
It means we acknowledge reality, but we also, because of our mindset, we can defy reality a little bit because we do have this mindset of hope. And there were two things we did right away that in hindsight I'm so glad we did. The first thing, as soon as the world turned upside down, I pulled all the faculty and staff together. We had a virtual town hall meetings, about roughly 1,000 employees who work here.
Yeah.
And I said a couple of things. First of all, and I had the finance team run the numbers on Hope. And I said, run me the worst case scenario. Like, let's assume this lasts as it is today with no students on campus for a year and a half. I think that's like, I can't imagine that actually happened, and it didn't happen that way. And in the worst case scenario, it's very challenging for Hope, but we make it. We don't die. We survive. And so I said to the team at Hope two things. One, we're going to make it through this. It's not a question of survival. That means let's go into this with the mindset of we know we're going to exist on the other side, so let's not freak out. And two, nobody's going to get laid off or furloughed because we know we need this team, and we need this team in normal times. And even though we're not in normal times, we're going to keep the team together. And those two things, it turned out everybody just took a deep breath and said, okay, we're going to make it. We're going to survive. We're going to have a job on the other side of this. Let's pull together and do the best we possibly can for our students. And that, I think, set the tone in a way that allowed us to get through it.
Yeah, and I completely agree. I think you've done, like, as coming from a student perspective, I think you've done like an excellent job just like tackling this whole situation carefully. Like you said, there really isn't a playbook, and there isn't just like someone else or some other college you can turn to be like, how are you doing this? And they'll be like, I think I'm doing it right. So I do thank you. I like having a senior year. It's super awesome that I'm here. So
thanks, Jack. That means that's nice. You should do this interview more often.
I will hype you up any day of the week.
That's great.
So I don't want to keep you on COVID stuff because
Yeah.
I'm sure your life has now just kind of turned into, I talk about the coronavirus every day. So we can jump into some more fun topics.
Okay.
So again, the whole point of our nice fireside chat
That's great.
is to kind of just be relaxing for you, if that's okay.
I'm good with anything.
Great. So Let's go beyond COVID stuff.
Okay.
You went to Hope.
I did.
You graduated in 2002.
I did.
And so I guess tell me more about your Hope experience. I'll hit you with the first question that everyone hits you freshman year. Why did you go to Hope?
Okay. I think the answer for me, probably like a lot of people, is I don't really know. I mean, I think to get back into my head as a senior in high school, weighing with this decision, and it's such a weighty decision. It's like this big fork in the road, and you think your whole life is going to depend on it. In some ways it does, but in some ways it doesn't really. Because like anything, college is what you make of it. And I actually thought I wanted to go to the University of Michigan. And I visited U of M, and I visited Hope, and I visited a few other places. And a couple of things happened when I visited Hope. And this was in the fall of 1997, fall of my senior year in high school. I came here and I met some professors. And that didn't happen most places I went. It didn't happen at U of M or big places I went. I didn't get to meet professors. I got to meet TAs and other students and staff, but I didn't actually get to meet professors. And so there was a vibe of, wow, the professors here actually care about me. They like teaching. They're not there just for research. They actually like teaching, and they want to spend time with me and help me achieve the kind of things I want to do. And second of all, I don't exactly know how to pinpoint this, but it just sort of felt like the right fit.
Yeah.
And I know that that's kind of a soft answer.
No, that's a good answer.
But I think that's kind of it. Like I came here and it just sort of felt like, okay, I could see this being my home. I could see this being a place where I'd thrive for 4 years, and I did. Yeah, I think that's the answer why I came to Hope. It felt like the right fit.
That is a good answer, and like you said, like it is a soft answer and one that people say, but like it really does mean something.
Yeah.
So remind me where you're from again.
Good question. I grew up in Portage, Michigan, which
Okay.
is just south of Kalamazoo. It's about an hour and 15 minutes from here.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you for saying Kalamazoo. That's one of the places I know. For reference, I'm from Missouri. If you don't give me the hand thing,
right.
or give me like Lansing or Detroit or Kalamazoo, I don't know where you're from.
You need the show me, right? The show me state.
The show me state, yeah. You got to show me.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Going in more with your campus experience, where was your freshman year dorm?
I lived in Scott Hall.
Nice.
Room 217.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then I know this for a fact.
Okay.
Me and Nate Haveman are pals.
Oh, wow.
If that says anything.
Okay. That says a lot.
And you guys were roommates for a bit, weren't you?
We were roommates our sophomore year. We were roommates a semester of our junior year, and then I did a semester off campus. And then we didn't live together senior year, but we were close friends. And Nate and I have been friends for 22 years.
Nice. Wow.
I was in his wedding. He was in my wedding.
Awesome.
That kind of thing. So he's in my Hall of Fame.
Nice. And I know
he works in admissions, by the way. Some people may not know Nate Haveman, but he works here at Hope in admissions.
Yes, a campus legend. He was my rep and like probably the reason I came to Hope.
Oh, so great.
Oh yeah. And whenever I talk to other people from St. Louis or just kind of like not Michigan areas, I'll be like, "Did you have Nate as your representative?" And they're always like, "Yes," and he's awesome. So shout out Nate Haveman.
He is awesome, Nate Haveman.
And you guys lived in College East for a bit, didn't you?
We did. We lived there. I lived there a year and a half, and I did a semester off campus my junior year.
Nice. Where'd you go off campus?
I did a DC semester.
Oh,
the DC
cool.
semester.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. What kind of extracurricular stuff did you do?
I did student congress.
Cool.
I think all 4 years I did student congress.
Nice.
I was president and vice president 2 subsequent years. I did NYKirk. In fact, I met my wife through NYKirk. So
Did Nate also meet his wife in NYKirk?
Nate did NYKirk. I don't remember if Heather did NYKirk or not, to be honest. But
Awesome.
Nate and I definitely, we were definitely NYKirk together.
Song or play?
We were song boys. And so I did that 2 years, freshman, sophomore year. I did some intramural stuff, nothing serious, but I did some intramural stuff. I was a runner in high school. I didn't run competitively here at Hope, but did some. I think back then there was like a running club or something like that I did.
Cool.
I did the business club, some other things like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's your? I'm now over quarantine. I was one of those guys who got into running because it just like killed an hour or two.
Right.
What's your running route in Holland? If I might steal it from you.
My normal route is to go down to Collin Park and then follow the lake up past the pickle factory.
Yeah.
And then come back on like 17th or 18th Street and then come back down to Hope. And that's about a 4.5, 5 mile route.
I've done the pickle route for reference. There is a Heinz pickle factory, like,
Right.
I don't know, like a mile away from campus.
Something like that, yeah.
And one time I ran there and I had to stop running because it smelled like pickles.
It gets very strong.
It was pretty rough.
If you run early in the morning, I'm usually out 6:30-ish in the morning, and if you run early enough, it's the smell is there, but it's tolerable.
Yeah. Okay, other things more about you.
Okay.
You lived in New York City before this.
I did.
And you moved to Holland, Michigan.
I did.
I said this earlier, but wow, is that a culture shock?
That's a culture shock.
No, keep going.
I was going to say you couldn't get more
Oh, yeah.
different. Although I knew Holland, so it's not like I was shocked by it. But
Yeah.
it's still dramatic. Our kids were. Our
Oh,
kids
yeah,
had only
for
known
sure.
New York,
Uh-huh.
so it's different for them.
So I'm moderately familiar with the city. I've gotten to spend my last 2 summers out there doing internships and whatnot. What part of town were you in?
We lived in Lower Manhattan
Cool.
the whole time. We had a couple different apartments, but we were all in Lower Manhattan. We were in Battery Park City, if you know that neighborhood, for 3 years, and then we moved over and we were in the financial district for about 7 years.
Cool. And what did you do in New York?
I had 2 different jobs. I worked at the New York Stock Exchange for 6 years, and then the last 5 years we were there, I ran a small bank that was technically co-headquartered in New York and London, and I sat in New York, and I was one of the leaders of a small kind of startup 10-year-old bank.
Cool. Did you ever get the chance to go out to London?
I did. I would go 5 or 6 times a year. It's a great city. Wow. And
Are there any correlations between London and New York?
I mean, they're both cities.
Cool.
People speak English in both places. Yeah, I mean they're very different. They're very different cities. London is such an old city with so much history, and New York by U.S. standards is an old city, but not by European standards.
Oh yeah.
London doesn't have. It has some, but it doesn't have that sort of skyscraper skyline that New York has.
Yeah.
But it's a great city with a great culture, and I loved it there.
Nice. And remind me how long you were there again?
In New York?
Yeah.
Just under 11 years.
Okay, cool. So New York question for you.
Yeah.
Favorite places to eat in New York?
Oh, wow.
Your underrated dives that no one else knows about.
Oh,
or just favorite places.
boy, it's hard to say one. I think John's Pizzeria was our favorite. So I can go by category.
Oh,
so
yeah,
pizza,
go for
John's
it.
Pizzeria.
The one like off 6th?
Yeah, 42nd Street.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Between 7th and 8th Avenue.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, got to be careful because people can rip off the name.
True.
But I think it's the original John's Pizzeria, and it's in the theater district.
Okay.
And it's in an old theater, an old rundown theater that they turned into a pizzeria probably in the 1970s or 60s or something like that.
Awesome.
And it's a great pizza with a cool vibe, cool
Nice.
atmosphere. Best burger, Shake Shack, which is now kind of a chain.
Oh,
but
really? Yeah.
when we were there, it wasn't exactly a chain yet. I had a favorite Thai place that since went out of business. So that's sad. We loved Indian food. Sarah is my wife. Every Sunday night, we had this routine for the whole time we were there. We would put our kids to bed, and then we would put on a movie, and we would order for delivery Indian food.
That's awesome.
Every single Sunday night.
That's so
and
cool.
we basically got the same thing. Every once in a while, we would change up the order. But we had 2 different Indian places we would order from, and it became like Indian food became comfort food for us, and it was so fun. We would watch a movie, and once the kids were down, 8:30, 9 o'clock, we would just eat our Indian food and watch a movie.
What was the order? If you don't mind.
Mine is lamb vindaloo. It's very spicy, but I like it spicy.
Cool.
And then order a naan. And Sarah, my wife, would get the spinach,
Nice.
the saag paneer.
Cool.
Yeah.
Any other categories that ring a bell?
Those are probably the main ones. I mean, New York. The thing about New York is it's so big that it's actually hard to get a handle on it.
That's true.
I'll mention Mexican. Our favorite Mexican restaurant in New York. Well, we had a couple. Rosa Mexicana is a really good one.
Where's that?
There's a couple locations. The one we went to is in Lower Manhattan. Honestly, I'm blanking on the name of the street it's on, but it's in the financial district.
Cool.
Yeah, it's hard. That's the thing about New York.
Yeah.
It's like you go to one restaurant and you feel like this is good, but there's millions of other places out there, and you never feel like you really get your arms around the city because it's so massive.
And that's the cool part. Like, I always ask people who are like have spent enough time in New York, like, where should I go get food? And they'll always list off 7 places I've never heard before.
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly
And
right.
that's just the best part about it.
That's right.
So I spent a lot of my time in like Greenwich Village. So I
Okay.
got a lot of that kind of I guess, older-ish experience of New York and stuff. So I got to go to, like, John's on Bleecker.
Oh, yeah, right.
That's my favorite pizza place.
Okay.
It's so good. But yeah, I think we're going to start to wrap it up here. So I want to end each episode, since we are a music radio station.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay.
That is what we do here.
Okay.
What have you been listening to recently?
I've been listening to the new Killers album.
Oh,
I
cool.
like the Killers.
I've heard that's good.
It's good. It's really good. I find some of their songs a bit overly complex.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like it when the song starts right away, and some of them start with sort of sound effects and things that I find a bit annoying. But I like the Killers, so I've been listening to the Killers' new album a lot.
Cool. Anything else?
Honestly, well, you're all going to judge me on this.
No, do it.
I don't mind Taylor Swift's new album, Folklore.
Nice.
Yeah.
I interned at the studio where she recorded that at.
Wait, say that again?
I was an intern at Electric Lady Studios in New York for a bit.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and it was awesome. And she, I think, recorded that album post me leaving.
Okay.
There. And it was super cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And is that, I haven't read about it. I presumed that was a COVID project of hers.
I don't know. I'm not entirely sure.
Okay.
But isn't that,
It's definitely a departure from her other style. So I assumed it was kind of like I'm home and I'm just going to do something.
Yeah, I don't.
Maybe
doubt
not.
That.
Maybe
yeah.
not.
Who knows?
Yep.
But it's definitely like a more, obviously, folky album.
It is.
Yeah? Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so
What
much
have you
for
been
coming.
listening to lately?
What have I been listening to?
Give me something good to listen to.
Oh, no, I wasn't prepared for this. I'm going to pull out my phone.
Well,
look
see,
at
you
my
did to me
Spotify.
with all the restaurants. I'm going to be thinking
true.
of all the great restaurant recommendations tonight, and they didn't make the air.
I'll get an email from you at 2 a.m.
That's right. Add this. Can you add this to the to the interview?
On the way over here, I was listening to the album Wowie Zowie by Pavement.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Are you familiar with Pavement?
I'm not, but I'll check it out.
They're like a classic, I guess, 90s-ish college rock band.
Okay.
Pretty simple stuff. Good old alt rock.
Good.
Well, yeah. Thank you so much for coming in.
Okay. Thanks for having me. This
Yeah,
is so
of
fun.
course.
So are we going to do this again?
Yeah, we'll do this again.
Okay.
I think this is going to be a monthly show.
Sounds great.
And we'll have it out as soon as I edit it, and then we can show it to the public.
So it's already September, so we'll do October and November. We'll get to do 2 more this semester?
Yeah.
It sounds like a plan.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much for coming
Thanks,
in. Thank you for tuning in to WTHS 89.9, and I'll see you next time.
See you next time. Thanks, everybody.